We are with ticker symbol Wkhs, Workhorse Group Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. And to all my subscribers, welcome back. Let's go ahead and see here what Workhorse has to show us. So it hit a high here after this recovery of about $30 and some change. It was on its way towards $31, which was one of the most pivotal numbers to break through, to hit newer highs, and it created a rejection there. Now, in that rejection, obviously the bears tore this one down and the bulls leveled it off, stopping it from breaking through the 50-day moving average. But yesterday, the bears brought this one down. They brought it down from almost $27 and some change, hitting highs here of about 27 and 53 cents, 54 cents, dipping it all the way down to our support level that we were looking at yesterday for today, which is 22.38. The good news is the bears weren't able to bring it down any lower by breaking through that support. So I want to emphasize to all investors, keep an eye out on that number for the next coming days. And the reason why I say so is because one of the lowest points before this run is pretty close to that support level as well, by a couple cents at 22.17, 22.18, 22.16, that range. But to be exact, right here at 22.17, I'd pay a close attention to it, because if it was to break through this support here that was formed yesterday at 22.38, we're talking about a 17 cent, 18 cent difference of about turning that turnaround, right, to actually fall. And to be exact on those numbers, you know, if you were to actually allow this to proceed and roll out, it's literally a 20 cent difference. And that right there indicates that we're not that far away from that low. And if this support level is broken through of 22.38, it could be well on its way closer to that range of 22.17, 22.18, and if it breaks through that, this will start to see newer lows. So I want to emphasize that to all investors. Now, this did a sideways movement, not much volume. Again, that right there is indicating that there's not a lot of investors in or out of this one right now. I know 25 million sounds like a lot, but that's nothing compared to what this was trading at previously in higher numbers. Now, Workhorse, if they were to break through resistance, which was yesterday's resistance, and hold up to it, which they really tried hard. I mean, the bulls did their best. They tried to stay there within an hour time frame, one 30-minute time frame and another 30-minute time frame, and quickly the bears tore it down. So they did their best, and they reached highs here of about 24.38. I'd keep that number in mind, but I would still keep this resistance level as one of the most important ones to keep an eye on before even worrying about up here. And that is 23.81. That got broken through and it was not able to be used as support. So that's an important number to actually break through by the bulls so they can start to run their way up to newer highs. So we're going to actually move this to a very narrow stretch. That's why I've talked about all these numbers before moving it. I hope that if you guys didn't get to write it down once you watch this video, go back and play it so that you guys can see it. And this I'm talking about, this is a narrow stretch. I haven't seen a stretch this narrow in a while. So the tug of war will be interesting to see who is going to start dominating this chart. And this is just going to give us our resistance level, and support is going to give us a sense of direction of where this is going. Now, if it breaks through either side and it starts to break away, then I'm going to go ahead and talk about this a little more broad so that we can have other points of reference to have a real indicator who is really dominating this, because this is way too narrow to go ahead and say, okay, well, it broke through resistance, it's going up. Well, it broke through support, it might be going down. I mean, too much volatility can happen within all of this. But at least we're going to look at it narrowly, and we're going to look at this broad. So the first thing is the 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average is 24.23. I'd write that down. Very important number. Lets us know on what side of the chart we're in. We're currently in bearish territory, and we've been in it for a little bit now. We can see that for a couple of days now. In the last 2 days, it's been there, yesterday and today. And the question is, will we stay there, or are the bulls going to get us out, right? Or the bears are going to continue to tear this one apart. So 24-23 is super important to keep in mind. Now, let's go ahead and see here the numbers broadly. So yesterday's support, keep that number in mind. That is the true support level to keep in mind. If that breaks through that, this will see newer lows. And today's highest point up here at 24.39, I'd say, is the number. See if it lands right on it. 24.39. That is the first resistance level above the 50-day moving average and the highest point reached in the day, which I would pay very close attention to how this stock is reacting if it breaks through it. Now let's zoom in here and see these numbers. So the first resistance level is 23.11. We're literally not that far away from it. The price is currently at 22.98, and it shows here at 22.97, and it shows here at 98. It's a give or take in that area, but just to round it up, 22.98 is the current price of the stock. 23.11 is the first resistance level. Again, it's just an indicator to investors. Don't just take it as like, oh, the bulls broke through resistance, they're gonna have a run up. That is not what this resistance will let us know. It's just to let us know where this is heading and where it could possibly start going. So 23.11 needs to be broken through and turn into a support so the bulls can start to work their way up. And obviously they won't have control until they break through the 50-day moving average. The 50-day moving average needs to be broken through. It's not that resistance level. It's not the resistance level up here. The first point is the 50-day moving average, which ironically is one of the resistance levels, which is the one right after the highest point of the day. If you look over to this side of the chart, and that is currently one of the previous resistance levels and rejection. So the 50-day moving average is a very pivotal moment for the bulls right now. They need to break through this. It's not like they can hang out sideways or try to move their way back up and then allow the bears to tear them down, because then they're staying still in bearish territory. The point is to get out of it. So the bulls need to break through 24.23. Now, 23.11 gives us as investors a sense of direction where this could be going. If they use it as support, it can start to work its way up to newer highs. On the other hand, we have what the bears want. And the bears want to tear this one down further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction. And our support is 22.79. If 22.79 gets broken through, this could be on its way down to newer lows and newer support levels. So I want to emphasize to all investors, pay very close attention to how this stock is behaving if it breaks through support. That's very important to keep in mind and watch and be mindful of. If this breaks through 22.79, I'd put my 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute chart, see the behavior, look for the inflow and outflow of the stock, how many people are buying and selling, who is dominating the chart. Are the bears really tearing this one down quickly to newer lows, or are the bulls trying to reappear and bring this one back up? Because the bulls bringing it back up doesn't mean they've gained control, but they can use some momentum and start a rally to get up to the 50-day moving average and get over back into bullish territory. Now, if the bears just tear this down and the bulls try to level it off or something, and they just completely continue to tear it down, then the bears are definitely just confirming that they have control. They've been showing control since yesterday. They're showing it today again. And if they break through the support, they're definitely going to try to aim to break through the support from yesterday to today, which I spoke about earlier, and try to tear this one down to newer lows and newer support levels. So pay very close attention to how this stock is reacting if it breaks through the support of 22.79. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell. By clicking on the bell, you can turn on all notifications so you don't miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. Don't forget to hit the like button for me to let me know you watch this video. And at the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. In that video, I will be talking about the S&P 500 index and how it's been working its way up. And also on days while it's going down, how it actually rises several points on scheduled dates due to the fact that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets on these specific dates and the S&P 500 is rising several points with it. Now, what does that mean for us as investors? Well, there's individual ticker symbols within the S&P 500 that are rising up with it too. And these ticker symbols are rising anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share on these dates, and sometimes even more. And I know 30 cents to $3 per share may not sound like a lot, but like I always say, profits are profits. If you put $1 into the market and you got $2 back, you've done a great job. That's what it's all about. Putting a certain amount, an initial investment, right? And receiving more than what you put in. That's the whole art of it. That's why we're here for it. And this is just a strategy that doesn't guarantee profits, but it helps you maximize profits and minimize losses. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold. I'm just here to inform every single investor on the great news that there's an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses. Check out the video. Hope you like it. It should be popping up soon. If it hasn't already, click on it. And thank you guys so much for watching. And let's make some money.